Good morning, friends. Today we will have some diverse issues, and I would like to address these issues. One of the important query I thought about is that what was the reason behind the revitalization or revival of interest in the poetry of metaphysical poets during 20th century? So in 20th century, you will find revitalization, or you can say revival of interest and interest in the metaphysical poet John Donne and all, right? And during this time, uh, people or readers tries to explore various themes in the poetry, right, of the metaphysical poets. Now, T.S. Eliot was, I think, the uh, major writer who uh, who wrote about the metaphysical poets, and then as a result, the revival of interest in them. So metaphysical poetry was the poetry of 16th century. So last day we talked about dystopian novels or dystopian works, literary works, and we have discussed about, I think, many works, including Frankenstein and 1984, as well as Brave New World. And from Brave New World, I connect this lecture. And one of the very important aspects of metaphysical poetry was the poets juxtaposed diverse images, or you can say diverse themes in their poetry. There was also association, and they diversely associated, or you can say far-fetched way, associated in far-fetched ways, the themes, or you can say some images, right, in their poetry. So association or networking or bondage was there, bridging was there, right? But what was interesting about metaphysical poetry was that they engaged or associated or juxtaposed diverse images, right? And that is why this title, Huxley's Brave New World, Shakespeare, India, colonialism, English language, and decolonization, right? It is also a kind of novel association, novel engagement, a breeze. Let us think about them and let us learn about these issues. So, let me, yeah. So, first of all, we will talk about the novel. And the novel was published in 1932, and it talks about futuristic society. It talks about future, right? It talks about a time of future, right? And it is a society that is called world state. I'm talking about Brave New World, right? The novel by Huxley. So it is a novel, or the narrative is about the world state, and it is a futuristic society, right? And there are themes, right, of technological control, loss of individuality, and how this, you can say, technology or technological development results into, you can say, loss of humanity, loss of individuality, and how we construct kind of highly engineered society or highly technological society, right? The novel anticipates, right? And I like the novel. Why? Because it talks about or it predicts about a society of humanoids, a society of, you can say, robots. And that's why this technological society where human relations are, you can say, very practical, or you can say not very, you can say, emotional or passionate, right? So miss the writer describes selfish relationship and all, right? 50 25 40 means 2540, right? That is the age of future, that is the year of future the novel describes, right? But in that society, the society is divided into alphas, betas, gammas, deltas, and epsilons. And there is a caste system, right? So in future too, there is a caste system predicted by Huxley, right? And from that caste system, I would like to lead you towards caste system in India, and which are, you can say, some popular works about caste system in India, right? So let us talk about 5 or 6 works which are very popular, which are very famous, right? In Indian writing in English, and they talk about caste. They address caste system in India. So I'm associating caste system in India with Brave New World. In Brave New World, we have caste system, and the various castes are divided. Alpha, beta, gamma means these are you can say mathematical or scientific castes. Now India has also caste system, and you know all about it. So I should not elaborate on it. These are some works, very important works, and they are means they are repeatedly asked in NET or SET examination. So in your UPSC, Union Public Commission examination, right? Union Public Service Commission examination, in your National Eligibility Test, in your SSC, Staff Selection Commission examination, then you have also state eligibility test of any state, Gujarat, Punjab, Haryana, whatsoever, right? Jammu and Kashmir, Tamil Nadu. I have referred many papers, right? In these papers, I have screened what I have done. So there is, you can say, there is very important software in Indian stock market. I am not just marketing or advertising the software because I am a man of literature. I am not a man of market. Yet, let me tell you very frankly, there is an app, or there is an application called Screener. So in that Screener, I'm not, let me repeat it. I'm not the advertiser, or you can say marketing salesman of this application, but I like the application, right? In the screener, there is, you can say, you can write a name of stock, or you can write some or you can write some prompts, or you write a prompt that okay, tell me about 10 uh, major companies, stock market companies of India, or tell me something about 10 major automobile companies of India. Tell me debt-free automobile companies in India, or tell me uh, debt-free and you can say highly booked ordered, you can say companies of India. And then you have some very good companies like HAL or HUL, then you have Colgate and all, right? This is share market. I know that I am diverting you. This is, yes, a diversification, but in that you have some knowledge about that. Now, I have also screened, I have also analyzed right? And in my analysis of, you can say 5 or 6 years papers, exam papers of this, uh, you can say heterogeneous kind of states, for example, Tamil Nadu and Kerala and Punjab and Gujarat, as well as NEET, SSC, UPSC. I found that these are 6 novels which are repeatedly, sorry, these are 6 works, not novels, which are repeatedly asked in the question papers, asked in your tests, right? So first is Annihilation of Caste by Dr. Ambedkar. It was it was predicted to be, or it was conceived as a speech which Dr. Ambedkar thought to address at some social function, right? But it did not happen. And earlier he was invited, but later on, and the Sabha, or you can say the community, said that you cannot address this speech, right? So, but it is a very emancipatory or enlightening speech, and this is now a book, Annihilation of Caste, right, by Dr. Ambedkar, the founding father of Indian Constitution. And uh, uh, in latest edition, uh, one of our influential and you can say famous writers, Arundhati Roy, she has written the preface of this book. And let me also enlighten you that the preface is longer than the text. Means that the speech is not so much, not so long, while the preface, or you can say introductory chapter is longer than this text. And this text is also revised now. And Arundhati Roy has written a very good preface or introduction. And the title of introduction is The Doctor and the Saint. What she refers Dr. Ambedkar as doctor and Gandhi as saint, right? She also accepted that it is ironical that you can say the word saint is ironically used in the preface or in the introduction, but the introductory part is titled as the doctor and the saint. It is asked in many exams, right? So, Annihilation of Caste by Ambedkar. Then, very famous novel, and that is the protagonist is Bakha, a young sweeper, right? And it was published in 1935, and it is untouchable. It is also, I think, most prescribed book in Indian universities. Now, the Weave of My Life by Urmila Pawar is also an important text as far as caste system is concerned. Why it is very significant text? There are 3 reasons. Number one, it is written by a woman. Number two, it is written by a Dalit woman. And number three, it describes double, or you can say triple, discrimination of human being. So you have a kind of gendered politics here, and she is of view that a Dalit woman is number one, oppressed or exploited by the upper caste people. Then she is also oppressed and exploited by the upper caste men. And at her home, she is also oppressed and exploited and humiliated, and she becomes a victim of domestic violence, right? And who is the man responsible? The man responsible is her own husband. So she is she is you can say in 3 ways she is exploited, right? Let me remind you Plato's copy of the copy of the copy. Imitation of imitation of imitation. In this way, she is also the woman, Dalit woman, is exploited by firstly her husband, secondly uh, the male, male, male from the upper caste society, and general upper caste society. So it's very important autobiographical, you can say, work by Urmila Pawar. Now there is another work called Samskara, and Samskara is also, you can say, opt prescribed text, and it is by U.R. Anantamurthy, right? And it is said in Brahmin community. The novel explores the tension between tradition and modernity, right? You must read about the text. Then we have Suraj Young Days, Caste Matters, and the latest Juthan. Juthan is a very good text. It is an autobiographical work by Om Prakash Valmiki. Right. So I have I have not I have just put a gap, and I should not discuss more about these works. But you must read about them, or you must read the summary of them. So from Brave New World, we have discussed caste system. In Brave New World, the caste system was mathematical, alpha, beta, gamma, and all. And these are the works on caste system in India. So you must remember, whenever you remember caste system in India, you will also remember the caste described in Brave New World. Okay. Now let me. So the title, very important. In my first episode, I have discussed about title. So title of the Brave New World, or the work Brave New World, is taken from Shakespeare, right? It is derived from William Shakespeare's play The Tempest, right? And it is from a line spoken by Miranda in Act 5, Scene 1, right? In her speech, she expresses wonder at the sight of new people, and it is also ironical line, and she says, or she exclaims, "Oh, brave new world that has such people in it." So she is in a mood of surprise. She is surprisingly speaking about some wonderful people, some interesting people. Some people miss their appearance and the environment surprises Miranda, right? So it is ironic, and the phrase "brave new world" is taken by Huxley, right? And it is now a literary work. This leads us to discuss Tempest as one of the remarkable post-colonial texts, one significant post-colonial text. So it's a significant post-colonial text. And these also revise our interest. And when Miss earlier during my MA or in my post-graduation or in my graduation, people, including me, was in habit of writing that, okay, Shakespeare was the greatest writer in the world. Oh, he was considered to be the, you can say, remarkable writer and the most quoted writer, and his themes are universal, and oh my God, so on and so forth. Right? He's called the Bard. Yes, Miss Wop, there are many lines, right, quoted by my teachers and spoken by my friends. And we were in a habit of, you can say, we were in a habit of quoting Shakespeare, right? For example, what a piece of Miss how noble in nature, right? So he describes man as a noble. So Miss man as a divine, and he describes king as a pillar of society and all, right? Then as flies for the wanton boys, are we to the gods? right? In King Lear. Then we have also Hamlet, to be or not to be, that question whether it is noble in the mind to suffer the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune or to take the arms against the sea of troubles. Oh my God, that's this right. That was also one of the quotations from quoted quotation from Hamlet. Then 40,000 brothers cannot sum up my love. I loved Ophelia, right? That was a quotation misspoken by young students, including me, during my graduation, post-graduation, right? But we were thinking that Shakespeare was a great writer. Good. But now an interest has been divided after, you can say, modern period, 20th century, after Orientalism, right, by Edward Said, and after this foundational text, we discuss Shakespeare as a writer who has written about some colonial mischiefs, or he has also written about how to colonize people. He has also written about what are the strategies to colonize people. He has also written about how to make or how to enslave people using language, right? So these are the ways in which we can discuss Shakespeare as an ambassador of colonization, or an ambassador, or you can say marketing manager or marketing salesman of colonial enterprise. You can discuss about someone has also in last week I was in discussion with someone, and he has we deliberated, and he has told me that you can also interpret, or you can also discuss Shakespeare as not only the ambassador of colonization or colonialism, but you can also say that by exposing colonial strategies, Shakespeare was not the supporter of this dehumanizing enterprise, right? And for example, in Othello, so let me also talk about race here, right? So in race, for example, on an issue of race, Shakespeare in Othello tries to explore us that if a white woman loves a black man, Othello, or a Moor, right, then their marriage would not be happy marriage, right? So this is also an issue of color, race. Okay, so let us talk about Tempest. In Tempest, Tempest is also known, or nowadays it is also interpreted as a post-colonial text because there are themes of colonialism, power dynamics, cultural hybridity, and language in the text. Next, yeah. So it is viewed as an allegory of colonialism. Prospero is thought of as a colonizer, a European nobleman who arrives on an island, right? And island is, you can say, island can be thought of Asia or India, right? And it is inhabited by Sycorax, right? Or Caliban. And Sycorax is, I think, the mother of Caliban, and he subjugates them. The the people populated there on the island. All right, and this is a work where Shakespeare tries to show how colonizers, right, looted the natives, how colonizers colonized some lands, how colonizers tried to spread terror uh, in an aligned culture, right? And how they tried to dominate or enslave people. Now, power dynamics is also there. The relationship between Prospero and Caliban illustrates the power hierarchy, right, where the white man or where the European is on the top, and the tribal, or you can say the native, or you can say the Caliban, Caliban is right. He is enslaved by the European men. So there is also a kind of cultural hybridity, right, resulted from this relationship between colonizer and colonized. All right. So you must read about cultural hybridity in Tempest. There are many articles online available. All right. So there is a famous rebellion, or you can say resistance against the injustice of Prospero. All right. And it symbolizes how we Indians or Africans, right, they resisted against the injustices of the colonizers. All right. So how they oppressed us, right, oppressed the natives of you can say Asia, or natives of Africa, or some Caribbean lands, or uh, us Indians, right, and how we have resisted or protested against their cruel regime. So there is also ambiguity, right? And yes, very important aspect of colonization or colonial enterprise was its civilizing mission. They 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 justified their colonization as a mission, a kind of missionary work, and they in the Orientalism by Said, right? He had discussed, you can say, in detail about how these colonizers um, thought Indians or Arabs, or you can say the you can say people of the Asian countries, right, as barbaric, jungly, right, lustful and all, right. So they justified their, you can say, cruel colonization as you can say a kind of missionary activity to make us civilized. So there is also a possibility of binaries, right? That we were uncivilized, we were brute, we were jungly, we were, you can say, we were uneducated, and they enlightened us. So it was a mission of enlightening us. It was a mission of, you can say, not only understanding us, but also educating us, and also empowering us through education, right? They justified that means their system of colonizing various countries, right? So it is also, you can say, it is also questioned, it is also queried, and it is also researched widely, right, in the context of colonization and decolonization. You must read some books, right, regarding these issue. So civilizing mission was there. The important word I would like to associate is civilizing mission, right? Okay. So we will think about missionary activities in India and how they were active in India, and how they tried to create somewhat called cultural hybridity in India. And some books are very important. You must read, or you must go through it, them, or some find out some summary and read. One of the book is by David A. Wash Brooks, right? The missionary movement in colonial India, 1860 to 1900, sorry. Then we have Civilizing Mission by M.K. Gandhi. And very important and very, you can say, a must-read book is Colonialism, Post-Colonialism by Anya Lumba. In Anya Lumba's book, she serves as a comprehensive introduction. She introduces the field of post-colonial studies, and she explores nuances of colonial and post-colonial identity, right? And she debates various issues, including hybridity and language, right? And very important issue here, I should connect, is language and environmental issues. So how language, English, specifically English language was introduced in India, and how it created a kind of cultural hybridity in India, was it a tool for empowering Indians, or was it a tool to educate Indians, or was it a tool to enslave Indians? So, environmental issue is very important issue, right? As far as colonial enterprise or colonization of India was, right, is concerned, right? Okay, and for this, I must introduce some good books, right? And please answer me in comment what is the difference between first two books. All right, I must hope for your replies. I must you can say think that you will reply, right? I'm sure that you will reply. So let me read two titles: An Era of Darkness, The British Empire in India by Shashi Tharoor, and Inglorious Empire, What the British Did to India by Shashi Tharoor. And uh, Tharoor, Mr. Tharoor, is a well-known. He's a well-known. Uh, One minute, please. He's a well-known politician, and he has addressed there. He has lectured there about Miss in UK about this book, and he has also in his address demanded compensation as well as sorry. From the citizens of UK, right? And he emphasized, he pointed out that they must say sorry to Indians because they have their ancestors had looted India. And he was also appreciated by none other than Mr. Modi, Prime Minister of India, right? So Tharoor was appreciated. He was praised for his lecture on this loot, or you can say colonization of India in the 19th century. Okay, so third one is the Great Indian Penury, right? And it is by Madhusri Mukherjee. And Sunil Khilnani's book is very important. You must read it, The Idea of India. And the fifth one is The Raj by Lawrence James. Now let us come to Prospero. Now Prospero arrives on the island like the British, right? They arrived on on the land of India, right? Or they arrived in India, right? And they, which was already there, inhabited and by Caliban, right? The son of Beach. Which the word which is very important because it reminds us how the native people uh, to whom the British or the Europeans enslaved, right? They identified the woman or they identified the human beings, right? So Psychorus is addressed as witch by the Bard, or you can say Shakespeare, and that also identifies the writer Shakespeare as an ambassador, or you can say a marketing salesman of colonial enterprise. He uses the magical powers to assert the control over the island and all that enterprising things, right? You can compare it to colonizing mission, right, of the British over India, right? So this is all about Prospero. Prospero is often interpreted as colonizers, right? He has all the characteristic, or he shares all the features of European colonizer, right? And Caliban is thought of as a native person, right? So these are the themes of the play. He usurps the power, right? He arrives on the island and he tries to, with his magic, or you can say he's successful in enslaving people, including Caliban. Right. So these are some issues. You must go through the text. You must go through the summary. right? So I'm not discussing these issues. There are thematic issues, for example, resistance, reclamation, ambiguity, right? Okay. A very good character is Prospero, right? So you must think about the relationship between Prospero and Caliban. Prospero as a colonizer and Caliban as the person who is colonized, right? Now, very important statement which is asked or often asked in our examination is the statement spoken by Caliban. And that is, you taught me language and my profit on it is I know how to curse, right? So this is a very important statement. You can say mainly quoted in most of the books written on colonization, decolonization, or most of the books who are written to criticize this colonizing enterprise. Now, it talks about language. Language is very important, you can say, theme in this play. And that is why Caliban, the native, say that now you have talked, now you have uh, now you have taught me English, or you can say language. And now I am empowered to curse in your language. So the language of yours will be used to curse you. The language you taught me, the language you uh, you used to educate me will be used to curse you. So that is why please think about the role of English language in India during the freedom movement. And please think also how we Indians used English to curse, to blame, and to criticize some very, you can say, cruel policies or cruel mechanisms of the British in India, right? So till now, and also think about how English has become a tool to enslave us. And why are we mentally slaves now, or has English played a role in enslaving us? And these are very important key issues you think about, and you can connect it to Caliban, and you can connect it to Prospero, and you can connect it to Brave New World. So, have we created Brave New World with the use of language? That's very important. So, language is language, English language, thought of as a power or power? Is it a powerful language, or is it a language of which has been inherited by us as a colonial imprint, as a colonial heritage? And is it making us, or is it a play? Is it playing a vital role in making us some blind followers of the West? So these are very important issues. So you must think about colonial education and education system in India. So it's a discourse, it's a vast issue. That's why I am not discussing right now. So you must think about India, language and colonization. And you must think about Thomas Babington Macaulay's Minutes on Indian Education. And it was delivered on 2nd February 1835. Please remember the date, please remember who delivered it, and please remember the text, right? Minute on Indian Education. Right, and through these minutes, right, Macaulay has, or you can say had, introduced English education in India, right? So opt, you can say opt ask question. It is frequently asked in, you can say, many examinations, right? About the date, about the year, right, in which year the Miss English education was introduced in India, right? And who introduced? Okay, so language maybe Miss very Miss. Is it a tool to identify us? Is it a tool to you can say modify or improve our identity? Is it a tool to, you can say, change our identity? Is it a tool to resist, right? And what is the role of language in freedom movements, right? So cultural hybridity is also a very important issue, and how language is used to discuss or to explore the interplay of cultures, right? It is there in the Tempest, and it is also there in many books written in India during the colonial period, right? So is it a tool to rebel against oppression, right? Or rebel against the injustices of the British colonizers, right? And Caliban's words serve as a powerful commentary on the complexities of colonization. It leads us to colonization and its complexities, right? So you must think about them, right? I think this is the end of my third episode, and I thank you very much. I wish that you will subscribe, you like my videos, and you will comment, of course. And I also hope that uh, you will you will provide me some hints, or you will suggest me something, right? I want your replies, right? And it will always boost me with some new ideas. Let me recap uh, before saying thank you and before saying bye to you. Let me recap. I have discussed Brave New World, and Brave New World, as I said in last lecture, is a dystopian world, and the title of the Brave New World is taken from Shakespeare's Tempest, and I have discussed Shakespeare's Tempest as a colonial text, or you can analyze it as a critique of colonialism, or it can be thought of in the context of British colonization, right, all over the world, in most of the countries, right? Secondly, I have also discussed about the caste system. Let me remind you, let me make you aware of the alpha, beta, gamma of the caste system of Brave New World, and the caste system of India, and which are the very important texts, or which are the very important books, right, related to caste system in India. So I have also illustrated on them. Thank you so much, and good day.